Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So, hello everyone. How is everyone doing? Good? Not sleepy? You sure? Don't sleep yet because you have an awesome speaker lined right after my presentation. Well, to be honest, I'm super glad that I'm not speaking after Rob because that would be super intimidating. Thank you, organizers, for putting my presentation before. So, during my talk, if you want to start a conversation, you can tweet me on my Twitter. That's my full name, Sonika Manandhar. Let's get started with a question. How many of you wanted or want to become an astronaut? Just raise your hands. Well, there are a lot of you, right? I think the clicker is not working. Okay. So I have had this dream from the age of 15, and I still have that dream. And this dream is because I want to explore space and to see what's there and to see it in a different perspective. Some astronaut who went to the moon said that we went to the moon, but we actually discovered Earth. That totally changes your perspective, and that's called overview effect. And I want to experience that. That's why I wanted to become an astronaut. I still want to become an astronaut. So this lifelong dream of traveling to space have led me to different opportunities and very awesome opportunities. So today I'd like to share my story of my journey and project that I've worked on, and also some of the lessons learned during this journey, and hopefully get all of you excited about the future of space industry in Nepal. So I'd like to start with a story of perseverance. How many of you know the meaning of the word? Okay, I think all of you, right? Alright, so I'll talk a bit about my journey in this specific topic. So when I started studying, there was not a lot of opportunity to pursue aerospace engineering or anything related to space exploration in Nepal. So I was constantly looking online to see about the opportunity to know more about space stuff. And I'm really thankful to my parents that we had the dial-up internet service when I was studying, so that some dial-up service, internet service we had. So I used to search how to become an astronaut. And somehow it always landed me to the website called usajobs.gov. So my world shattered, literally shattered at that age to know that I cannot apply to become an astronaut. Well, the selection was a whole new story. So and then life went on. I didn't pursue my engineering in aerospace. I did computer engineering. And back in 2015, one of my mentor from UNICEF forwarded me this email saying I should apply for this program called Global Solutions Program at Singularity University in Silicon Valley at NASA Research Park. This is the program, this is the opportunity for people all around the world that wants to work in one disruptive idea for 10 weeks and start a company out of it in the Silicon Valley. As soon as I saw this, I knew I had to apply for this. Why? Also because no one from Nepal was ever selected for this program. And it has already been 10 years in the program. So I really had to apply for this. So I put together my application and then got myself a few recommendations and applied. I landed myself in the final interview. I was super glad. To be honest, I didn't expect that. Because when I researched a bit about this program, in one of the Forbes blog, it was said that the acceptance rate was just 3%. And I thought I didn't even stand a chance, right? But still, I applied. And then I landed myself in an interview. it was one day before the devastating earthquake that happened in 2015. I still remember the date. So a few months later, after the earthquake, I received an email. So when I opened it, it said, "Thank you for taking time to apply. We've decided you to put in the waitlist." All right, so I believe that waitlist is a big no, so I just carried on with my life. And then a few months later, on June 1, I received another email from the managing director of the same program saying I've been offered the seat. And not just offered the seat, I had the scholarship from Google for 40,000 USD to attend the program. I was like super stoked. I was super blank, to be frank. I was super blank to how to react. Of course, it was a brilliant news, but was a bit tragic for me because I could only accept the offer if I can fly to the US in the next 2 weeks. I never went to abroad. I didn't even have my passport. Visa is a different thing. And I had to take 10 weeks of leave from my office. So everything just started crashing down. So I decided to consult with my mentor, who also happened to be my employer. So I forwarded this email to him, and in a second he replied saying, "Are you crazy? Just say yes." So I lifted myself up and accepted the offer, got my passport in like 5 days, and my boss used his contact at US Embassy. In 4 days, bang, I got my visa. So it was like one hell of an experience. Sounds like a happy ending. Unfortunately, no. So US Embassy's visa system got some glitch, but the very next day I had to collect my passport. So I couldn't get my passport for another 3 weeks. So I lost the opportunity. Right, I was super devastated, and there's nothing I can do. I could just, scroll through their Facebook and see when they are opening up the operation and things like that. So I couldn't help myself. And it was not because of me. That's more devastating to know that. So then life went on. I was in my career and everything, and I was working. And in the second year, a reminder email came in my email box saying apply. So I reapplied. I put my application together, got the recommendation, wrote the essays, and sent it off. And a few months later, I received an email saying, "Thank you for taking your time to apply. You're not selected." So I was a little bit more devastated this time because the year before I was selected, but I couldn't go, and now they're rejecting me. I thought I was a failure. So then I decided to super be in my career and also continue with my nonprofit. And in the third year, which was 2017, the reminder email came again, saying apply. So maybe the third time, I thought the third time would be the charm, so I reapplied. And then I received another email. Listen. So I received another email on my mailbox, and it said, "Congratulations, you have been selected with the scholarship." So it was amazing. I was literally flying, and it just shows the power of perseverance and not giving up and making your own opportunity and pursuing your dream until you get it. I used to feel really embarrassed to share this story of rejection. Actually, I never told anyone that I applied in 2015 and 2016. I only told them that in 2017 I was there. Because I thought sharing this would make me a failure. I also felt like that. But now, after being through all the journey, I think that wait was worthwhile. Every hour in NASA Ames was worthwhile. Like 89 beautiful cohort from all around the world, expert in their own field, meeting people from NASA every time you go for lunch or even swimming or anything, knowing about daily dose of exponential technologies like robotics, AI, blockchain. I never heard about blockchain before that. So it was super intense and super intimidating. but it was super awesome as well. And meeting, and randomly you also, so let me go back one slide back. So 2015 was when I was selected for the first time from Nepal, and 2017 was still the same. So I was still the first one to be selected from Nepal, and that was really amazing. So random things like meeting first female private astronaut happened in NASA Ames. So she is Anusha Ansari, and the next picture is like I'm pouring my heart out in front of her in the session, telling her about my dreams and all relating to what she's ever been to. She's an Iranian woman. I'm also meeting Bob Twiggs. He's the father of CubeSat. So CubeSat is a 10-centimeter satellite, and it have literally revolutionized the satellite industry. So company like Planet have been using swarm system of these small CubeSats to take the global imagery every day and give data insights out of it. So in this journey of embracing the failure have not only taught me in the personal level, but also to work in the complex projects. So one of the great experiences that I had during GSP in the Silicon Valley was to work in an agriculture biotechnology company. I mean, the startup that we are trying to start without having any knowledge in biotech or agriculture. So I was a computer person and computer engineer, but I worked in the biotech agriculture company. So we're basically trying to create a soil microbiome bank to regenerate the world's topsoil. The microbiomes are basically the good bacteria in the soil that helps grow the food that we are eating today, we ate today, or whatever. Okay, so UN estimates that in 60 years, all of the topsoil, almost all of the topsoil will be gone. Which means the food that we are eating today will be gone in 60 years. Does it sound scary? Well, yeah, it does. That is why we decided to take up this project and try to regenerate the world's soil rapidly by making the data bank of the world soil microbiome. So this idea was really appreciated within the Silicon Valley, and we were selected in the SU Venture Incubator. That's me and my co-founder presenting, pitching to compete in the incubator. So we got selected in the incubator, and we were also the top 3 team that presented in the Global Summit at Silicon Valley with the same project. Well, this looks a bit funny, but that's my whole team, all tired after the Global Solutions Program and the incubator right after Global Solutions Program. So that was the end of the day, like we pitched our solution, and we were like sleeping on our booth on that day. So everything was going perfect, but we were lagging the right stuff to continue to give the continuity to this company. We had the right team. I was the computer person. My co-founder was the World Bank consultant with the agriculture background. And another person from Peru was the professor and the biotech person. We had the perfect mixture of team. We had the right technology. What we didn't have was the right time. Because to get the data back, we had to sequence the DNA of the soil. And that cost is like really high right now. And everyone in our team was mostly interested in helping smallholder farmers, and our startup did not make sense anymore. Like, it was super expensive, and we couldn't target the smallholder farmers anywhere. So this was when I learned how to let go. It sounds a bit contradictory because earlier I was saying, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. But sometimes you have to let go, and you need to know when to let go and how to let go. So then I returned back to my country, and I'd like to go back to me meeting Bob Twiggs. And it's funny, in 10 minutes in the US, Bob Twiggs introduced me to someone who is working in the satellite and space research industry in Nepal, which I never knew when I was in Nepal. So I had to go to the US to know about him. So meeting with him also helped me get more excited about satellites and space industry. So when I came back, I contacted this person who was working in space research and everything, and I met with his team of student engineers who were developing a Pico Satellite. And you can look at the prototype of the Pico Satellite. So it's a 5 centimeter cube satellite. It's a very cheap, not that cheap, but comparatively cheap satellite that they were developing. And I decided to get to know more about the team. So we participated in the Nepal Space Technology Transfer Hackathon with the team, and it was super amazing. I felt like I was in my element, and this was my clan, who were as passionate as me to pioneer in the space industry in Nepal. So I decided to volunteer my time in this team. And this is when I learned how it's not always important for you to start something of your own. You can always find a team and contribute. All right, so this is there are more than 20 student engineers who are involved in this particular project, and they've been volunteering their time and skill for this. They're not paid. So this is the current status of our prototype. That's the antenna that we have imagined that would look like that. That's the measuring tip that we have used, and the prototype of the satellite that we are developing. So this is a very basic description of the satellite that we're developing. 5 centimeter cube, 250 grams, and costs $50,000 USD to launch. I told you it's comparatively cheap, but it's not cheap. Well, we need 25,000 USD just to reserve the space in the launch vehicle. So the rocket that goes up and deploys our satellite, we need to pay them 25,000 USD. All right, and another 25,000 USD is for the testing and finalizing the actual satellite, because Nepal don't have any testing facility. We need to test. We need to do the stress test. We need the vacuum chamber, and then we need to test the shock and vibration test. A lot of other tests, so that we are actually eligible to go to the space, fly to the space. So that's where all the other costs goes to. This is a bit of a chassis design that we have followed. This is the render image, and that's the second iteration when we 3D printed, and the third iteration when we removed the SD card because we didn't think SD card was required, and the fourth iteration was the first image that we saw. So that's the current state of the satellite. To receive the signal, we have followed the Astronaut. That's an open source platform where we. The video basically explains how we have used the local resources like the green pipe, PVC pipe, and the 3D printed design to develop this ground station. I will not say it's a perfect design right now because there's a lot of things to do and add in this ground station, but still we have been able to use the local resources and the local expertise to develop the ground station, and I'm really proud of that. Alright, so the main thing in the satellite is the payload. It decides what it does when it's flying in the space, when it's in the orbit, right? So we've decided to go with the radiation sensor. So you must be wondering, what does it do? Like, what does our satellite do if it's actually in the space, right? It just measures the space radiation. Nothing more than that. Now I think you must be wondering why radiation sensor and why not some camera or some sophisticated technology. I'll tell you why. First, technology-wise, because the space, the space of the satellite is very small, so we don't have much space to put more solar panel for more power. So we had to find a payload which consumes less power and fits in a small volume and does not require the pointing mechanism. If we put the camera in the orbit, it needs to point in some direction, and that's complex, and we don't have that kind of expertise right now. So we have selected a super simple payload and selected that as our mission. So technically, this is why we have selected this. And overall overview, because I already said that, but we still lack the expertise, and we wanted to start small and go there as fast as we can, and not delay at all, to build up the momentum in satellite development in Nepal, and also to motivate the engineers that have been working in the satellite right now. So let me ask you some more questions. Maybe you're feeling sleepy again, I don't know. So how many of you have used your cell phone today? Just raise your hand. Okay, almost all of you. How many of you have watched TV in the last week? All right, how many of you have flown in an airplane in last year? All right, how many of you have used the GPS? So all of the things I'm naming right now relies on the satellite all around the Earth's orbit, and we are not there yet. Like, you can see there are a lot of satellites, but Nepal is still not there. We don't have a single satellite built yet, and it's not in there. And we need to get there. So that's what we are trying to achieve with this project. So a bit of a background on why we started this again. So fact, in 1984, ITU have allocated like 2 orbital slots for Nepal to have our own satellite in the orbit. And we're supposed to use that slot within 2015, and nothing happened. Unfortunately, nothing happened. Which is because Nepal's space program is near to non-existent. We don't have an educational or industrial base, and nothing specific related to space in the education process as well. And we're actually missing a lot as a nation without our own space program and without our own expertise building satellites. And one of the examples that I always like to give what we are missing as a nation is to add the topic of climate change. Nepal as a country does not contribute, really less, we don't contribute in climate change at all. But the impacts, it's really high. I mean, we are hard hit. Like the flood and the glacier melting and a lot of other stuff. And we need to equip ourselves, maybe through the satellite technology or anything else, whatever we can do, but satellite is also one of the ways that we can tackle that. How we can use satellite technology? We can use it in the agriculture field. We are the agricultural country, so we need to make more money in agriculture to raise our GDP, right? And disaster monitoring, detecting deforestation, disaster prediction, and changes in land use, basically to determine what's changing on ground and take action out of it. And finally, the sustainable living. Now we can take the inspiration from the space. How astronauts live in that one satellite, International Space Station. How their health is maintained. One of the examples that I always like to give is the water filtration system. Like, whatever it's in the ISS, International Space Station, stays there. No waste at all. They reuse everything. If we can bring that technology in Earth, just think. What could happen? A lot of things can change, and we can take space as an inspiration, not just the technology. So talking a bit about why the time is right. I think I talked a lot negative about this sector in Nepal, why it's not working, why that is not working. I'd like to talk a bit about the positive aspect, what's actually happening in space industry in Nepal. So first, this is like very amazing. You cannot read it, of course, but I will just tell you what it is. So Nepal has, the Institute of Engineering have started the Aerospace Engineering this year, which is a brilliant thing happening. I mean, we will build a lot of expertise in this area if we have the engineering related to this. Two is, Nepal is launching a satellite, CubeSat, in 2019 second quarter, and that's being built in QTech in Japan with 2 Nepali engineers. And it's being launched in 2019 second quarter. And third, which is very exciting, we are launching this Pico Satellite in 2019 fourth quarter. And the fourth one, I don't have a slide for that, but in July, at the end of July, I guess, the first national space meet was organized in Nepal, and I talked virtually. I was in Japan at that time, so I spoke virtually in the event, and there were like hall full of students and enthusiasts who were very excited in this field and really wanting to do everything to get this started. So I think future is really bright for the space industry right now, and of course we can do more to make it faster. So just a little bit of context. Everything I mentioned, like 2 projects, working in the ag tech, biotech, without having any knowledge in agriculture, or be it working in a satellite developing. It was totally out. I request everyone to reach out to people that you look up to, reach out to this vibrant community that you're in right now, and just talk to them and appreciate whatever they do, value their time. And, because you never know, right, where the next opportunity comes from, and same thing happened to me. Like I was speaking, early this year I was speaking in the panel at the Himalayan Consensus Summit, and someone in the audience nominated me for this international space training in Korea Aerospace Research Institute. So I got selected for yet another amazing training called International Space Training in Paris, so this short form, Paris. And I was there. So I never felt like an imposter. I never felt like I was not good enough more than in this training, because there were like space experts from 17 different countries, and I was like, okay, I'm the computer engineer. So I was super intimidated, and I felt I had this strong feeling of imposter syndrome. But everything changed when I get there, and the program was super amazing. The willingness and openness of Korea Aerospace Research Institute to show us their research facility was amazing. Like they were inviting other people to see their lab, and then they are asking us to learn from them. So these are the miniature version of their satellites that was in their facility. ComSat 3A, ComSat 3, ComSat 1, and we also have 5 and 5A. This was the Mission Control Center where they get all the data from the satellite. And I actually felt like I was in the Hollywood movie when I went there. Like there are people doing all the stuff because I don't know what they do, right? So there were people sitting there, so I felt like it was really jaw-dropping. And this is also the Mission Control Center, but this was specifically for the water management in entire South Korea, in K-Water. So this moment was really, actually really jaw-dropping for me, because in the background, you can see that there's a chamber, and it's a vacuum chamber that they are building for the next satellite that they are launching in 2022. And they are building it themselves. They learned for 2 times maybe from foreign countries, and they are building this. I was really amazed of what they are doing. From this training, my takeaway is not just space tech, not just this visits and everything, but how they have leapfrogged from the war state to current state. Despite having such short history in space, they have built amazing technological capabilities and national projects in space. And we as Nepalese people and Nepal have to learn a lot from them to do something in this sector. Alright, so I'd like to add, I don't know if you've heard this or not, but I still want to say that. They say planet Earth is blue and there's so much left to do. And exactly the point why I love Nepal and why I returned to Nepal and still want to be in Nepal is because there's so much to do in Nepal. So many areas untouched where you can pioneer and do something. Just don't think what's in it for me in the country, just think how you can be part of it, how you can contribute and make it better. So talking about that, if you want to be part of our small satellite project, please talk to me. You can still write to me on Twitter. Every expertise counts. Like if you, I mean everyone here is web expert, right? You could use that expertise. If you do good in fundraising, we are in dire need of funding. So if you have that expertise, just come and talk to me. And any kind of expertise is helpful. So please talk to me if you want to be part of this project and transition our Nepal space program from this to that. Thank you.